All right, here we go. So I am playing a Chimera Illusion deck, and we are going against a Unchained player. Now, I did make a misplay because when I switched to this deck, I was just trying different decks out, and I quickly just pulled a bunch of cards out that were like banned that I couldn't use, and I forgot to take Rusiligo out of the deck. So I forgot that this card has no targets to search for inside of the deck because Deception is at one, so I can't search for that. And Hollowed Azamina, I only run one of these. There are no targets for this. So this should have been Ilya Silva right here so I could have an Omni negate. But it is what it is. We're going to go Big Wing Berfamit right here. We're going to search for the Gazelle. I could have done this the other way around, but I figured I'd get more resources if I just tributed the dead Rusiligo. We're gonna go Chimera, the king of Phantom Beast. We summon out Nightmare Apprentice. That's gonna allow us to get Cornfield Kodo. Of course, we're gonna grab Mirror Sword Knight. I can't actually summon it out because I've already used up my normal summon. So it's just gonna sit in my hand. So I will not have my monster negate live immediately. But don't worry, I got a plan. I got a plan for how we're gonna get Mirror Sword Knight out. So we're gonna go Chimera Fusion right here. And then we're going to set the Chimera Fusion and then set the Deception. So unfortunately for me, I hit a card that can do something if it's sent to the graveyard. So he ends up setting this trap. Now, unfortunately for him, he's not too smart because he probably should have used this trap sooner rather than later. And you will see why. So he's going to go Upstart Goblin right here. And then he uses this card to pop the card that he just set. He should have actually, well, I don't think this one could have done it, but this card was Unchained. Yeah, so target one Unchained monster you control, one card on the field, destroy both. Okay. So I go Chimera Fusion right here. And right here, I summon Guardian Chimera. This is where he should have flipped this card over, target this, pop both. This card would still activate. But then, I mean, then he gets something going at least. But no, he doesn't do that. I go Guardian Chimera. I pop his Sarama. And I did this specifically. I went ahead and made Guardian Chimera like immediately. When I saw him make his plays, when I saw him do his like pop to summon, I immediately went Guardian Chimera so I could pop the monster that he summoned because I knew it would mess up his order of like how he wanted to make the plays. So by popping this card immediately, look, it can't activate before I pop it. So he can't get the target one Unchained in the graveyard, set it to the field, and then destroy one card to control, which he would have probably set something from the grave, one of these two cards, and then pop this card. So to avoid that, I went ahead and just popped this card first. So that's the point of Guardian Chimera right there. So I draw two, perfectly drawing into a Nibiru, which is what I needed. The exact card I needed to beat this deck. He then summons a couple cards out, summons out the Raikia, and then he's going to pop a couple cards. He ends up popping my Deception of the Sinful Spoils, which it does absolutely nothing right now. And then I go ahead and activate Nibiru to kind of wipe the field. And this is at the perfect time because it leaves him with nothing. Now, it may seem like I have no more interruptions or anything that I can do because nothing in my hand is activatable, nothing on my field is activatable. But that does not mean my graveyard is not. I am playing a deck that can play from the graveyard. It might not seem like it, but definitely is. So I see that he is going to activate the Fiendsmith in Paradise sends Fiendsmith Engraver. So because he sent Engraver, what I'm going to do right now is actually just hold off for a second and summon out the Chimera, the Flying Mythical Beast. Technically it's Baphomet, but you know, I activate the Chimera Flying or King of Phantom Beast. It summons the Baphomet. And then when this card hits the graveyard, it can actually summon this one back out. So I'll always kind of have a monster on the field because I'll just rotate them until I don't have any more in my graveyard, until this one gets banished realistically. And then when this one goes back to the grave, I can activate it again and then summon something else out, right? So we can loop this stuff. So it makes it kind of a juggle match for him to get rid of my shit because they kind of float. But I can pick when I do the effects. So what I'm gonna do is he goes Fiendsmith Engraver. When I see this, I summon this card out. And there's a reason for this, because when this card's on the field, 2 cards in my graveyard become live. Means Mirror Sword Knight and also Cornfield Codal. Now I also had another option I could have went into if he was playing like a spell deck, which was this card right here, Diabel's the Sinful Keeper, which could have popped back row, but I don't want to do that because he is playing Unchained. So yeah. So watch how this plays out. He's gonna go Fiendsmith Engraver, and he doesn't realize, like, he doesn't read or care or anything like that. Like, most of these players are fucking dumbasses. So he's going to go Fiendsmith Requiem. But like I said, when this card's on the field, this card Mirror Sword Knight is live. And if you don't know what Mirror Sword Knight does, when a monster you control, or when a monster your opponent controls activates its effect, while you control Chimera, the Flying Mythical Beast, you can banish this card from the graveyard and negate that effect. This card is treated as Chimera, the Flying Mythical Beast. So he tributes the Fiendsmith Requiem. I banish that card to negate the effect. Just like that, he has to end his turn. Now, at any point, if he were to flip this card over to try to pop something, he can flip this, try to pop, and then whatever target. But since this is on the field, I also still have my Cornfield Codal, which if something gets targeted on my side of the field, I can negate and banish, destroy whatever that card too. So let's see how this plays out. So he is going to Ash the Frightful Patchwork like a dummy. Now he knows that I have Mirror Sword Knight in my hand and Nightmare Apprentice because I searched both of these cards. So he should know that I have both of these in my hand. Or maybe he's assuming that I linked off the Mirror Sword Knight earlier. So we're gonna go Nightmare Apprentice. So he really used that on a bad card, but it's okay. I love it. We're gonna go Mirror Sword Knight right here, which gives me another monster negate. Summoning out Big Wing Baphomet, and then we're gonna grab Gazelle, King of Mythical Claws. I'm gonna go Guardian Chimera right here, and I'm gonna go for Guardian Chimera to pop the token right here because I don't want to have to attack into this token. So I'm just gonna pop this token. He is gonna activate to special summon a Unchained. Now, right here, he probably should have waited to use this, or he probably should have used this one instead, or seen what I was targeting to pop. Because if I'm targeting to pop his token, I mean, I don't even think he could use this because he needs an Unchained monster, if I'm not mistaken with that one. But he should have saw what I was going to pop with Guardian Chimera, because if I'm popping this card or this card, then he gets plays because they both summon monsters when they get popped. So I don't know why he did this kind of early, but he summons this out. I go Nightmare Magician, And then for whatever reason, he forgot. He forgot. He didn't remember that this card has an effect. So from the graveyard, by the way. So he's going to activate, which it says if this card is special summon, you can discard one card and destroy one card on the field. He would have lost this card anyways, because I was planning on using this Chimera Fusion to actually go into this card right here, Chimera King of Phantom Beast. So in the end phase, he would have lost this card anyway. So good for him to actually like utilize it, but he still threw it away for nothing. So throws this trap into the grave. I just chain Mirror Sword Knight to that, negate it, and it does nothing. I'm gonna go Cornfield Codal to grab another Mirror Sword Knight, and at this point, I can get another Mirror Sword Knight into the grave this turn if I want to. He doesn't have a card in his hand, but I can do it by using Chimera Fusion. I summon out Nightmare Magician specifically because Nightmare Magician won't destroy this card. So of course, if a card you control is destroyed by battle or card effects, you could special summon this card from the hand, which doesn't really matter. Then if this card was in the graveyard because it was destroyed, you can special summon this card. Even if he has summoned any other, doesn't matter what Unchained monster he summoned. If he has summoned any Unchained monster, this card wouldn't have destroyed it anyways. And that's why I summoned it. This is like the best counter to Unchained, because it doesn't actually destroy him. It's almost like a counter deck, almost like a deck that counters the counter, because his deck kind of counters my deck, but my deck also counter his, because mines are illusions, so they don't destroy, but my deck destroys because I use Guardian Chimera. So like when it destroys stuff, his shit comes back, and then when my shit tries to attack, it doesn't like activate his shit because it doesn't destroy it. So it's like this deck, it's like they both kind of counter each other, which is funny. It's just whoever comes down to be the smarter player, I guess, kind of wins this shit. So he should have known that he was gonna lose as soon as he saw Nightmare Magician. But anyways, I'm talking too much. Unchained, Scapegoat of the Unchained, he's gonna target his Abominable Chain Sold, and then because this card targets one of my cards too, you know what that means. Targets one of mine, one of his. Because of that effect, I can Cornfield Codal, protecting myself from targeting. So I just Nightmare Magician, attack right into his shit. Because I attacked into it, I can take his shit. And I should have attacked with this shit last. So I should have hit him with everything else on my field first and then hit him with his own shit last to kill him for game. But I thought he was going to quit, if I'm being honest, before I got to that point. So I just attacked with his shit first. And there it is. Just like that. Like, this deck is so good. And I hate that I, like, botched the match by, like, not looking into the deck list and making sure that I didn't have Murusi Ligo, so I could have done the Ilya Silva play. But yeah, but still pretty good deck. So yeah, hopefully y'all like it. Catch y'all on the next one. Yeah, baby.